Guys, what's up? I know you guys have been waiting for this for quite a long time, and it is finally here. It is Infinity War movie review. So the truth is, I basically wanted to do this movie review for quite a long time, for like a week or two now. But then I was just letting the thoughts sink in, the ideas, looking at videos about Infinity War and certain theories. So I was just absorbing everything, and I wasn't really like thinking of pushing out mine as soon as possible, because if I push it out too soon, it might turn out to be, a very confusing and a very mixed review. You get what I mean? And of course, for those of you guys who haven't watched the movie yet, don't worry. This part is completely spoiler free. I won't say anything related to the story, so stay tuned. This segment is just basically a review of the whole movie itself, like the characters and the storyline and the music, etc, cinematography, all the stuff like that will be in this part. So don't worry, there will be no spoilers. I know you guys have been trying hard to stay out of the spoilers because there have been spoilers everywhere. Everybody's just posting on Facebook, RIP Iron Man, RIP Banner, RIP who else? I haven't seen much of it because I just don't give a shit. Learn to be like me, man. Don't give a shit when you don't have to give a shit. But man, for you guys to keep away from the spoilers for this long, I really applaud you guys, man. You guys are awesome. You guys are the true fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Give yourselves a pat on the back, man. I clap for you. Basically, I have like 8 good points without spoilers. Basically, I'm just gonna list everything to you guys to make this short and sweet. So the first point that I've noted from the movie, from watching the movie, is it's very, very emotional. If you guys watch the interview, Josh Brolin, which is this guy who acted as Thanos, yup, they're the same. It's basically CGI if you don't know how that works. Josh Brolin was being interviewed on some talk show or something, and he told that guy, the interviewer, that actually playing Thanos was actually very emotional. And he's right, man. The end result of that is the whole movie is extremely emotional. It portrays a whole spectrum of emotions, to like happiness, which is like as a result of comedy and humor, to like sadness, to like anger. It's just a whole range of emotions, man. It's very well done. It's very difficult for a movie to actually achieve such a wide spectrum of emotions. And the second point that I would like to bring up, which is like pretty good about this movie, is there's a lot of like family relationships and family stories in this movie itself. If you guys are planning to watch this movie with your kids, it'll be awesome because there's a whole bunch of family story inside. Or even if you guys are in love and you bring your partner along to watch the movie, it's also very relatable to you guys because it's sort of like a couples movie at the same time. But okay, let's move away from that first. Basically, it's a very family oriented story. There will be a lot of focus between Gamora's relationship, this woman here, part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and her relationship with Thanos, which is her father. This is not a spoiler, please don't kill me for this. It is already stated in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie that she is his daughter. So this is not a spoiler, and don't kill me for this. Thanks. So the thing I mentioned about couples in this movie, like about love and the relationships between various couples in this movie, that's basically the third good point about this movie. If you bring your girlfriend or your boyfriend along, or your wife or your husband, you understand that this movie is very relatable. And the reason why I say this is, this movie has multiple love stories going on in it. If you guys like love stories, if you guys like romance, you guys like all that moshi ass bullshit, no offense, you guys will enjoy this movie because there will be a lot of these things in the movie. And you will not only see romance as in like just general romance like mwah, mwah, mwah. Basically you will see the romance developing in a time of hardship and in a time of difficulty, which will be very interesting for you guys to watch. If you guys watch with your other partner, it will be interesting and it will be very relatable. So not only is this movie very emotional as a story, it is also very relatable, and it is also full of action. And that is the fourth point. There's a lot of action, and you know, everything is just going like fights here, fights there, fights everywhere. But of course, it makes sense because it's an infinity war, right? Like, it's supposed to be a war, there's supposed to be violence, and there's supposed to be fights, and that's what we want to see. We want to see action, we want to see, you know, Iron Man going like boom boom boom, Hulk going like Hulk smash, and we want to see like Thor going like whoop, 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 whoop. Alright, he doesn't have a hammer anymore, so I guess I will cut that part out. In essence, if you are in for the action because of this movie, you are in for a good ride. The reason why I say this is there's action in the whole movie. The whole movie. And the fifth point that I would like to bring about, which is great about this movie, is basically the fact that everybody in this movie, despite all their differences, despite all the different agendas, different purposes they have, they all came together to prevent a catastrophe from happening. If you guys watched Civil War back then, I think like 2016, you will know that, you know, the Avengers are split up. They're messed up, and they're messed up pretty bad. Everybody's all like going different directions now. In this movie, you see them like unwillingly coming back together. I guess the moral of the story is this movie is trying to portray that, you know, people should come together despite differences, despite arguments, despite disagreements, to face a problem that is only solvable by coming together as a group. Through teamwork only can this problem be solved. That's what Marvel wants to drive at us audience with this movie. They want to show that, hey guys, if they have arguments, they have fights, and they have disagreements, and yet they still come together to face, you know, this big badass guy from another planet because it's going to destroy the world, then you guys can do it too. Because if they can come together as one to protect the world, why the rest of the 7 billion of us can't come together to face some real problems that we face in the world together as one? After watching this movie, I personally think that Thanos is one of the greatest Marvel villains ever. The reason why I say this is he is big, he's bad, he has a very horrific aura, a very evil charisma, and he also has a very horrific goal, which I will not mention here because if I mention it here, it's basically a spoiler. But besides all these things that, you know, seemingly make him appear more evil, more sinister as a villain, you can still see that he's very vulnerable. I will not tell you guys what is his vulnerable side because it might be somewhat of a spoiler, but I think I might have teased it, you know, in the previous portions of my review. He's vulnerable, yet he's a great villain, and that's what makes him relatable. In fact, in my opinion, he's towards the level of like people like Killmonger, the guy, the villain in Black Panther, or you know this guy which is Zemo, he's from Civil War. This guy, he's the villain of Civil War. Basically, these two villains are very relatable, and they're very emotional, and they have a very vulnerable side to them, and they have a very good and rich backstory as to why they are doing, you know, so-called evil things. They have a very relatable and understandable background as to why they have become who they are today. And you know what, I think Thanos fits into this criteria perfectly well. But you know, I still have some issues with that, so maybe I'll put him like under, you know, under Killmonger and under Zemo a bit. You know, towards that level of like Ultron or something like that. Ultron, you know, this guy, the robot guy in Age of Ultron. He's a pretty good villain, but he's a villain because he's been on the internet for too long. So the seventh point that I want to come to is, in this movie there are a lot of heroes, there are a lot of characters. The thing is, you can have a lot of characters in a movie, but the point I'm trying to say is, how much screen time does each character get? You know, how much attention does each character get? Because there are so many characters around, it's very difficult to focus on each individual character. So it's like the camera is like all over the place, and you know, all the scenes, everybody's like inside just, you know, kicking ass. At first, that's what I thought this movie would be. Basically like a montage of everybody just kicking ass. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy kicking ass, Avengers, Team Iron Man kicking ass, Avengers, Team Captain America kicking ass, and everybody just, you know, you know, just kicking ass. But the magic of this movie, the magic that is done by the Russo brothers, they did this movie in such a way that it's not just about heroes kicking asses and asses getting kicked by heroes. I think what I'm trying to say is, it's not just a montage of, you know, people kicking asses. It's a story. It's a story about amazing individuals coming together as one team to take down one big bad villain. If you guys watch like One Piece anime, I'm sorry you guys don't watch it, but if you guys watch One Piece anime, Marineford, you know, like there are so many characters just in one place together. You know how chaotic that can get. Like seriously, everybody is everywhere. It's so hard just to focus on every single character and where they are at one single point of time. Basically, you don't know, Marineford is an arc of One Piece that basically not all the characters, but a lot of characters that are introduced within the whole anime just fit into this event, which is Marineford. So the difference between Infinity War and Marineford is, Infinity War, each character, you know where the hell they are, you know what's going on, you know who's doing that, who's doing this. It's very balanced. The screen time is very balanced. Like we know what's going on all the time, and that's rare. That's rare for a movie with so many characters. It's so difficult to do. And this brings me to my 8th point. Sure, in this movie there are a lot of characters and there is a lot of action, but I will say that the best thing that has happened on this movie is the interaction between characters. Hilarious shit, man. Hilarious banter that is going down. I can't help but smile, you know, when I'm like talking about this, because it's seriously super hilarious, particularly between certain characters that you never thought would have met, but now they have met in this like whole event. If you guys are all into, you know, Marvel comedy, Marvel humor, check this movie out. So despite all that hype from Infinity War, everybody's all excited about it. The girls are going like, oh, what's Infinity War? Despite all the hype that is going on, I found like a few problems that I had with the movie. Nothing personal, I'm a Marvel fan, it's purely objective. So one of the problems that I realized this movie had was, it was very fast paced. The pacing was like boom 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 boom. It was like a nuclear explosion. So many things happened all at once, and within these 2 hours of this movie, that whoa, I was like, when I just came out of the cinema, I was with my friend David. If you're watching this, you know what I mean. Basically we were just like coming out and we were like, whoa, we needed a lot of time to digest what's going on. Like seriously, a lot of time to digest. Like we were talking about the movie for hours, even after we watched it, which is like crazy, you know. This usually doesn't happen, but because there's so many things that are happening in this movie that are like cramped within like 2 hours, that we really had to discuss like everything that is going on. But what about you guys that have watched the movie? Do you think it's like very fast paced, or like it was too slow for you? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be interested to know. Another problem that I might foresee, you know, certain people might have with watching this movie is, if they haven't watched like certain films in the past, like maybe like Civil War or Thor Ragnarok, or like Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they'll be a bit, you know, confused as to what's going on. But on a side note, despite this being a problem, it might actually be the greatest strength of this movie yet, because the factor of continuity is so big that people have to watch the previous movie to watch this movie, which is a good sign, because people always complain that, you know, sequels don't have like links, like where's this character, where's that character after this movie. Marvel movies have no issue with that. Their continuity is, you know, excellent, and that, my friend, is one of the greatest strengths of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. But in terms of like individual movies, when we are like talking about individual movies, that might pose a problem. And the third problem, which I think for me personally is the biggest problem I have with this movie, is everybody knows that Thanos has a certain goal in this movie, and it's being explained a lot within this movie that he has that goal of doing something, which I will not say because it's a spoiler. But what I can tell you is, this goal of his is an evil goal. It's not a good goal, it's a bad goal. And I did mention to you guys that Thanos is a great villain. Even though he has that evil aura, evil charisma, he still has like a vulnerable side to him. He has a weakness. He has something that he is concerned about in this whole world. And that is his And I think portraying him as an emotional character, the director also should have thought of, giving us a flashback as to why Thanos wanted to achieve this goal. I think because he's such a great character and he's very well portrayed in this particular movie, the director should have given us a clearer picture as to why he's doing all this that he's doing. He is relatable, but he is not understandable. We don't understand why he's doing this at all. I'm personally hoping that in the second movie, they will explain this to us as an audience, because I believe that we should get an explanation as to why he's doing all this that he's doing. And if we do get an explanation, Thanos will really climb up to the ranks of being a villain as great as Killmonger or Zemo. Okay guys, so that will be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this movie review. If you did and you want to see more movie reviews about other movies, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And at the same time, I do vlogs. If you're interested, you can check them out as well. So without further ado, I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. Thank you Jay, Pixie, Vitoshi, Sarah, who else? Andy, I think Beatrice also. Oh sorry. And Crystal Studios, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Basically, all these people, I would like to just thank you guys for supporting me all this while. You guys are awesome. And of course, to my real world friends too, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog / video / review. So I will see you guys, and this is Lord of Thought. Oh wait, I almost forgot something. I almost forgot to give my my final statement for the movie. In essence, if you guys like Marvel humor, comedy in other Marvel movies, you guys will like this movie as well. If you guys are into the fights, if you guys are into the action, definitely check this movie out. Check Infinity War out, watch it, sleep with it, watch it a second time, watch it a third time, watch it a fourth time. You will enjoy it, my friend. And you know why else you should check it out too? Because the Hulk said you should check Infinity War also. Hulk smash!